What's going on, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to Catching Up with Kat. My name is Kat Walsh, and today I have on a good friend of mine, Turk. So just want to start off the podcast by him introducing himself, his hobbies, what he does, where he's from, and stuff like that.
Cool. Like I said, everyone calls me Turk, so
I work. You, Aaron.
Yeah, like I work at Lincoln Electric, so I'm a mechanic there. Recently, kind of took a group leader position, so been trying to navigate that. And my hobbies are, as you know, just car stuff, building cars or engines, anything with a car, pretty much. Guns. I've actually kind of gotten into making like these, AR kits and these Glock poly kits. So I've been doing that lately. And then just recently purchased a plasma cutting CNC machine. So it's a nice 4x4 unit. So I'm going to get into like the programming and the cutting my own parts and pieces. So yeah, it should be cool. So hopefully come out with some stuff.
That should save you some money down the line with all the projects that you have.
I got some money wrapped into that one, so it'll take some time to recoup that one. So,
but it'll be worth it, I think.
I'm hoping so.
You live out in Willoughby area.
Yep. I've lived out there for a few years now, so got a nice big garage.
Yeah, his setup is beautiful. He's got a big barn. It's so ideal.
Yeah, 4
for
bays.
Someone who has freaking like 15.
I have 8 currently.
8 cars?
Yeah, cars and trucks.
What about bikes though?
I actually just sold the Harley back in the fall. So I don't know. Might get another bike here soon. I haven't decided yet. So getting pulled so many directions, and I want to kind of condense. It's like spread my love on all the kids and maybe small, tighten up the group.
Yeah, you can't give them all the attention when there's so many of them. So I think your main baby is that the Subaru.
Yeah, the Rex it holds some weight with me. It's probably now going to be the one car that I probably won't get rid of. If I do, it'll probably get parted out and cut up. I just don't think I could see it like going down the road without me in it or something, and it's probably safety wise too. Like it's kind of a death trap. So.
Tell them about the Subaru.
It's a LS based Subaru. I've back halved it about 2 years ago. It's twin turbo, got 66s on it. Big 3 did the tune last fall on it, and probably gonna go back here in the summer, get it retuned. I'm in the middle of doing a transmission swap, converter swap, and I think I'm going to leave everything else on the engine pretty much alone. I control it with a Terminator, flex fuel unit, E85, same deal. If anyone's seen it, it's got this massive high ram with an intercooler spacer in it. It's a interesting thing to see going down the road.
He talks so neutral and relaxed about this fucking car, but you should see it. It's never is gonna have a hood on it again.
Yeah, it barely could get one on there when it was all NA, and then we went supercharger about 2 years after, about 2020 2021. I went with Fortec V3 supercharger on it. And then I was just having a lot of problems with the belt and just throwing belts. I had actually taken it down to LS Fest, and each pass I made, I was always, by the end of the track, had no power steering. It's like, God damn it, the belt. So right then I was like, you know what, just going turbo. And then that whole winter, it was just more and more. I was like, well, if I'm doing twin turbos, I better do a high ram. I better do a Terminator. And then like I got a spacer. So it puddled into so much, and that's why it's kind of called Snowball now, because it's just snowballed into what it is now. I mean, I got that back half that went in there, and I think 2021 I cut the whole floor out, did a whole 2x3 square tube frame. It runs like a 29-inch slick on there now. So some big old balloons on it. So I did the SDI swap in the front. Yeah, that one, I think insane. I got something visually coming in the works here soon. My boy Joe, he's gonna hook it up. So hopefully, I honestly don't even know what it's gonna look like, but I've been rapping with him, so he's gonna do some custom wrap for it. So I want to hold out.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm stoked about it. So I got to get some of the body like leveled out. We lost the bumper cover a few years ago, and I've never really like replaced it. Still got like duct tape on it. Yeah. So like,
got to smooth it out.
Yeah, we got to smooth that out and maybe get it a little more softer on the eyes, because it's kind of, other than the engine, it's not a pretty car right now. So
but you did win a pretty big award.
I won best engine in class last year at LS Fest East, which is pretty cool.
That is huge.
Yeah. I think I'm really done with that though. I gotten to the point like I don't want to race it and wreck it, and I got a lot of money into it. I don't make a whole lot of money, so I don't want to blow it up. I want to make some more power. It made 720 on the dyno before the converter kind of was just like, yep, that's it, I'm done. So that's why we're doing what we're doing now. And after this, I think I'm gonna do something different. This might be the last year of really putting a lot of stuff into it and time and money into it. So I want to do, this is about 5 years, come next year with it. So I kind of want to move on and do something different. I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. So
do you have a Corvette?
I do have a C6. That's actually going in for wrap on Monday, actually, or Sunday, Monday. I got to get with Joe and see what time. This is actually the color we're going to go with. So I'm kind of stoked. Yeah, see that? Like if there's a piece of it on there. Kind of like a 2011 CTSV kind of color. So
the CTSV paint
that heavy flake. Yeah, that's what it's gonna look like. Because right now it's silver, so I want to get that done. And I got a couple parts to throw on that still.
So you want to make them like show cars?
No, I've never really had like super nice things. The only nice thing I have is obviously the Evo, and it's still got like 23,000 miles on it. It's never seen a winter. I honestly haven't driven it since probably 2019, 20 on the street. I drove it to the house, and I've made some laps around the house every summer, and that's about it. It's jacked up right now. It's missing 2 wheels, and it's on a battery tender. Yeah. And a nice heated, cooled garage. I go back and forth with it. Yeah, it's got a lot of sentimental value to me, and I don't know, I just can't drive it. So it's like, what, I might get rid of it. I've been toying with the idea of getting rid of it and moving on. But I don't know, I still keep holding on to that thing. And I don't know what it is. I can't drive it. I can't.
Why can't you drive it?
I don't know. I just can't. Like it runs, it drives, it goes down. I was thinking about putting a little bit bigger turbo on it recently, but then I'm like, I didn't even drive this thing last year. Yeah. That's why I like the Vet, because like I own the Vet, and it's like, you know what? I can just drive this thing, and I don't really care too much about it. But I got a little truck that I don't know why I bought. It was like $800.
Oh God.
And it's like the most jalopy truck ever.
Oh no.
I mean, the rockers are rotted out, the bed's rotted out. And it's like I built this all aluminum LS3 with a little 78 mil on it. Jesus. It's ready to go and drop in the truck. I might start doing that, but I got so many projects. It's just never enough time. Yeah. And then, I work all the time. So by the time I get home, do the gym, and I'm like, look at all my stuff. I'm like, you know what? We're just going to shut the garage door and do this another day.
Right.
And then you're just, weeks of that, months of that. And then it's like summer's here, and it's like, oh, yeah, I wanted this to be farther along than what it was, but, whatever.
It just gets overwhelming.
Yeah, a lot. That's why I was contemplating condensing, making it smaller. And, I'd really like a nice bigger truck, but just paid that thing off. So I'm like, you know what? I like living the banknote free right now. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think condensing is a good idea. For years, I've been telling you.
Yes.
Enjoy your life, lighten your load. This man worked like 3 or 4 jobs
for a long time. I had the shop. I had, any variance of combination, whether it be the dealership in Lincoln, the bar and the dealership. At one point it was Lincoln, the dealership and the bar. And then I opened up my shop. I had a couple shops, a couple different people. And then finally I had my own. And yeah, it just got to the point it was too much. And I was working on everybody else's stuff, and I didn't really get to mess with my stuff. So I kind of once I bought the property, I ended up like getting rid of the shop, and I was like, I'm not working on anybody's stuff in my house. It was a big rule of mine. I never really did too much of. I tried not to, especially early off in like when I was renting and stuff, because it would just get out of hand so fast. And I've been pretty good the last like 2 years, like turning down work. I don't have the drive for it anymore. I just don't want to do it. I made my money. I did it. It was fun, but it cost me a lot. It cost me a lot of time. So,
and mental energy. Like,
yeah,
you are one of the most hardworking people I've probably ever met.
Yeah.
And to see you finally.
I push it.
Yeah.
So now it's all my eggs in one basket now. So it's just like a lot of hours in that shop. But it's kind of cool because now it's kind of like my deal. I kind of run a little bit small part of that whole plant. So it's kind of cool to see like the hard work like pay off a little bit.
Sure.
But it brought in like a whole new skill set that I need to hone in on of like the management spot. So this is not like I'm out there doing it. I got to let them do it and just kind of manage them. So it's been tricky. I actually like, that's more like what I think I'm going to pursue more often here in the next few years. Putting down the wrenches and picking up a keyboard. So it's definitely been a trick these about last year or so. So just coming into a computer and desk is different. So trying to stay in the office is more than how do I keep in there and keep them active and keep them motivated and just get something out of them and not hate their lives, And I really think I got a group of guys that are highly talented in what they do and will stay with the company for a while if I can keep them, motivated and keep them like happy, like what they need, listen to them and like, hey, I want to get trained on this, or hey, I need these tools. I want to know how to work on these pieces of equipment and get that to them. And then I don't see them leaving. If they don't have a complaint, then why would they leave?
Yeah.
So it's like over the last year, I haven't had anyone leave the group. So at one point the group was real small, and now I'm like kind of at max number. I actually just got a new guy this week. So it's like I'm starting again with this guy and just managing people, and it's definitely interesting. I didn't see myself doing this part. I kind of just kept running towards it, and it just happened. It happened real quick too. So
it would be good on your body.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would. Just step away from it. But I think you'll be good at it. And it's important to treat your team well, because then you'll hang on to all the good ones forever.
Yeah.
It's rare to find that in management.
Yeah. And a lot of them are like highly skilled in what they do or where they came from. And honestly, a lot of them are all older. I think I'm like the youngest or second youngest. I think I got one like 28-year-old, and I'm like, everyone else is a little bit more senior in age compared to me. So it's definitely, that is a challenge to get around. So, but they all do real well. So I'm pretty happy with it so far.
Well, good. I'm glad it's working.
So, what about you? How you been doing?
Career-wise? I'm good.
Is the real estate still going? Yeah,
it's going. I'm working with a buyer now. It's just kind of weird.
Yes.
Like sometimes, you'll get a buyer, they get pre-approved, and then it's not something that's high on their priorities right now. So it might take a few months for them to find something. But it is still a good market, in my opinion. Rates are a little higher, but they are slowly like stabilizing, and who knows about coming down? I don't know, but it's not a bad market. Just trying to keep my name out there and generate some business.
Yeah, there you go. Good at networking, seeing all your LinkedIn and all the drops. So I was like, good for her.
Yeah, the link tree.
So for me, I had a couple questions. You said rate them up, so I'll go into them. Your biggest accomplishment in life. It could be anything. So just what's the first thing that pops in your head?
Biggest accomplishment. It's hard. It's
really?
like,
See, I figure I already had it pegged. I was like, I know what she's going to throw at this, but
well,
you know, I want to see what you
like
say.
my daughter?
Yeah, I knew it. I was like, you know, as a parent, I figured that's probably, you know, everyone's just go-to answer is my daughter. And it's just fair.
Yeah. And it's like kind of hard to say that. Like being a mother is my biggest accomplishment because like, I don't know.
Well, because there's a lot of mothers out there.
She is like a child, you know, like I don't want to say like her as an item or whatever, but like I feel like all the hard work I do to like be the best mother I can be is my biggest accomplishment.
Right.
Like doing everything to provide for her, working hard.
Like you're here doing this because of her. If she wasn't here, you probably would be doing something totally different.
So yeah, I guess the biggest accomplishment would be being her mom. And I think it's like sculpted me. We've known each other like 8 years.
Yeah.
And if you look back, I'm completely different.
Yes. I mean, we all have changed. I mean, the whole group has changed. And like I said, I kind of knew that was coming.
Right. But I'm grateful for it. I was a wild little crazy person.
Wild child.
And my baby really like humbled me and like brought out a whole new level of like motivation and determination. So I guess.
Yeah, far cry from when like me and Tim pulled you out of the
my car,
the wrecked car when we were racing down that road. I mean, I still hear the screech and the glass and just, hey, Catherine, you remember that? I was like, we don't know each other. And then Tim's getting scolded about the sticker. He's like, why you guys got the same car stickers? I was like,
yeah, let's tell that story because I wanted to talk about that.
You go ahead. I mean, your view is obviously different than probably me and Tim's. Ours is a little more violent than yours. Or maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
what was it? 3 days? No, maybe even a week. You had that car and license back again.
Oh yeah. I got my license back. I got my like first car and it was like a week. I think it was like a week I had this car. It was a really nice.
I don't even remember what it was.
Mazda 3.
Wasn't it red or something?
It was red.
Yeah. Okay. I remember this.
It was like a 2011 or 2013.
It was a nice little piece.
Yeah. It was clean. It just, it was no fucking race car. Like I was hanging out with all my friends who like raced, had their little car, zoom in. And I'm like, well, I'm still going to like cruise around. You know, I don't have anything cool right now, but fuck it. So we were out, it was by Vermilion and it turns into like a 3 or 4 lane road. It's super nice and smooth. And there was like a spot where you kind of go off the side of the road to like,
we were parked. I remember. Yeah, we were parked.
Yeah, there were people on the side of the road parked, talking. And then I went to go do a U-turn to like leave, I think, or go somewhere.
I think you were like, you wanted to do another pass. And I just see you just whip right out. And it was just like, there's a car right there. Yeah. Like that wasn't racing, like just driving normal traffic. I'm like, oh my God.
I remember looking like very briefly, but like I didn't see this car that was coming. And it was a Mustang, an older Mustang, like a
oh, that's right,
early 2000s.
Yeah, that skinny
like
little dude. Yeah. Yes.
And apparently, I turn, he fucking T-bones me, totals my fucking car, like hits me like this, like but like didn't the car end up
full
like,
T? Like it just planted it because I remember me and Tim just pulling the door and like prying the door out, and he grabbing you out of there, and he put you on the hood.
I was fucked up.
I was like, hey, you don't know us. We just rolled up to the scene. Like, and everyone else, I was like, just get everybody out of here. Go. Like, everybody meet up at the gas station. Like, and we stayed and we were the only cars there. And then, like, I'll give it to the cop. Evo. He was pretty witty.
Didn't you put me in the Evo?
Oh, no. Because remember, mine had gotten rear-ended. And I think I was riding with Tim that night. I think we left that stupid Passat that I had at the gas station. Yeah, I was in the rally art with him. Yeah. And I remember that cop was witty because he like picked up that we all had like you two had the same stickers.
Yeah.
He's like, you guys don't know each other?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm over here. And Tim's like,
He was calling me Catherine. He's like, Catherine, you're going to be okay.
All right. We don't know each other.
I was like, oh my God, I can't even. I was like,
weren't they grilling you too? Like once you went to the hospital and then the cops followed you there. Yeah. And they're still grilling you.
I had this fucking neck brace on laying in bed. And they're like, we know you guys were street racing give it up. And I'm like, get the fuck out of my room.
Yeah,
like
that's
go look at my car. Don't talk to me.
It wasn't us. It's not a race car. Did you see that?
Yeah. I was like, you think I'm racing in my Mazda 3? Get real.
It just looked bad. There was like an Evo, fucking Mustang, and like your little nice car. It was so funny.
And I guess the guy that hit me, someone said his transmission was like sitting right next to him. Like it
wasn't that bad. I mean, that guy was just like, I think that was his prized possession, and you just took it off this planet.
I'm sorry for that poor bastard. Maybe there was sentimental value, but yeah, he was upset. I guess I don't really remember much of like.
No, you're pretty out of it. I was like, hey, this is kind of serious. So I was like, when they put you in the ambulance, I was like, that was a pretty serious one. I was like, she is so in trouble.
Yeah.
She's had her license. Like, I think we went that Wednesday to Norwalk, and actually you were there with it. And that was the first time I actually seen it.
Yeah.
We were like, you were at the drag strip that week with it. And then I think it was that weekend that you had wrecked it. And I was like, oh my God.
Well, it was either the day before that or the day before, like 2 days before. Ian and I think it was Ian and I, we saw a horrible accident by the AX Center. We were all racing over there and heard this loud crash. And I think that like just like mentally messed us up seeing, because that was horrific. Unfortunately, the man didn't make it, but like, it was just a horrible week. I'm so glad I've grown up and have not tried racing around in a Mazda 3.
In a minute? Yeah.
Yeah. I just have a Mazda Speed 3 now. What are the odds?
I know how I feel about that.
I even asked him to put it back together.
Yes.
He's like, no.
Dylan do a good job though.
He did.
I'm sure Dylan's he did. He's a witty character. I want to link up with him one day and do something. He does some cool stuff, his powder coating and stuff. So
Dylan's an animal.
Yeah. He's always been out there crazy, building just off the wall stuff. So I was like, I like it. It's cool. Yeah,
he is very cool. I love Dylan. He has the car right now, actually.
Oh, does he?
AC compressor.
Okay.
So
nickel and dime you, but you do your thing.
We can't win. But
going back to it, so that was your biggest accomplishment is the little duck. And then so what is your biggest, I guess, pitfall or say failure in life?
I think my biggest failure is like being so stuck on trying to find my happiness and purpose through like a person, like getting into these relationships with not the people for me. And like, I don't know, thinking that that's going to solve all my issues, being with the right person. And then I'm going to thrive once I'm happy with someone else. And it's like, I wasted a lot of years in time, and I'm not even going to say wasted because it was all lessons.
I was about to say, that's like a trial and error thing. Yeah. It's like, you're never going to get it right the first time. You know, I'm not obviously gotten it right yet. Yeah. So it's like, but you learn from each one of them. They took something away or they took something away from you.
Yeah. So I think just like spending a lot of time and energy in the wrong places, even when I knew they were wrong for me, I just continued to.
Yeah, that's probably a good one.
Yeah. I just like had to step back and look at myself, focus on myself.
Yeah, I feel that.
And that's how the good will come. So
how do you start your mornings? What's your morning routine? Do you have one?
Yeah. There you go. I started by Bella running in my room. Mommy, I'm hungry.
So what's time's a little duck getting up?
It depends. Lately, it's between like 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. So she does not sleep. Yeah. She's been like waking up throughout the night too. So I'm like, But yeah, it's usually I'm woken up by her. I wish so badly I could get up before her to like get in a little meditation or some yoga or something, but she's just always beating me to it, and I need my sleep. So.
Yeah. So on the flip side, what's your nighttime routine? So your day's winding down. Is there a certain ritual or something that's like on the books? This is what we do all the time.
I actually just got this reflection journal, and it's for the morning and evening. So in the morning, you write down like what you want to get accomplished for the day, an affirmation for yourself, what you're grateful for, and that's what you do in the morning. And then in the evening, you like reflect on the day. What did you get from today? How did you feel today? And you check off certain stuff and like what you learned.
So for the people kind of like me, I want to go into affirmation and what that means and what it entails.
You don't know what it is?
I do not know.
Okay, so
I am a little illiterate and I don't know.
No.
If everyone else knows what it is, bear with us.
No. So affirmations are basically like things you tell yourself. So like people that are insecure, going through a hard time, you can like reassure yourself like, I am strong. I am worthy of love. I am motivated. Just like you repeatedly tell yourself these things and it's just like, rather than saying things like, oh, I'm so dumb, I shouldn't have done that. Like, don't talk down on yourself. Like,
heard that.
Give yourself a fucking break, you know?
Yeah.
Replace that with something good. So, like, today's affirmation, it was like, I am worthy of love, big or small. Like,
okay.
just something simple.
And you
like
come
that.
up with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Very well.
So, for night times, I do my reflection. Belle goes to bed religiously at 8 p.m. because I need my time in the evening.
You put her down or does she like kind of choose like, hey, I'm going to bed?
I put her down. Like we go to her room, I read a book and then she just goes.
So she has a routine.
Yeah.
So that's good. Yeah. So, I mean, if you move that time to maybe 9, and wouldn't that push her to more like a 6, 7 wake up time? You know, turn her clock.
You can tell he doesn't have kids. I've tried.
Yes. I'm more like this is okay. Here's the gap. Let's move the gap. Like
I've tried. Like Easter, for example, all day long. Easter, no nap, all day. She's go.
Yeah,
like,
all that sugar just running.
3 egg hunts. Like everyone's like, she's gonna sleep great tonight. Her. Yeah, she's gonna sleep great tonight.
Oh.
She slept like 4 hours.
Oh.
I'm like, dude, how? I think children go through like regressions. So like as they're changing and their brain's developing and stuff like that, they go through these things. But she's good about her bedtime usually. And then I'm able to wind down and do some yoga or reading or just relaxing. And then I can get like stuff
like
around
a
the house.
decompress.
Yeah. Those are like, I like nights.
So now that you're in the podcast game, give me top 2 podcasts that you maybe follow or watch? Your favorites?
I don't really.
No, you don't watch anybody else's?
Not really. I mean,
wow.
I've like scrolled through. A friend of mine, Dominic, who is also on here, gave me a good podcast. I can't even remember the name of it, but they talk about like their addiction stories and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I've listened to a couple of those, which were really good, but I'm awful at remembering names.
No, that's
I'm just trying to get more into the podcast too.
So this is just purely, I wanted to try this and do this, not like, oh, I watched that and like, hey, what if I thought about this? Okay, that's cool.
Just jumping off the bridge.
I tend to put them on as I work and do things around the house or in the garage or at the gym. I'll listen to them. So I definitely, why I was excited to come on. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it.
Yeah. It's like the more I'm doing this too, the more I realize how many people actually listen to podcasts.
Right. And I think there's really good ones. I think there's like, really bad ones. So it's like, this is cool. And you're one that's gone out and like, I'm going to try it. We're going to have some rough ones. And it's like funny to watch some of the guys that I follow and watch and like go through their videos and like, hey, this is the one 3 years ago. And it's like, oh yeah. Okay. I can see how he's changed up the studio, the way he sets up the questions, how he interviews or she, it's definitely I just wanted to be a part of this. So hopefully like, you're like Rogan and have thousands and I can come on and be like, hey, number 997, I'm back again.
Heck yeah. No, that's definitely the goal is to stay consistent with it and grow with it. I definitely want to listen to more podcasts because I think you would just naturally
pick up stuff, you know?
Right. Rather than listening to music. It's not really like.
And just the same topic conversations. That's why I go through a couple different guys. I mean, I listen to like 6-hour long ones sometimes. Yeah. It takes me like 2 or 3 days to get through. But yeah, there was a really good, his name's Sean Ryan. And he had a really good 6-hour one from a Navy SEAL that went to transgendered back to like I guess male. It was definitely something that I don't like necessarily agree with, or have your own beliefs on, whatever. I'm just like, it doesn't really affect me. It's not around me a lot, so I don't know. So I was like, definitely like, do I listen to this one? I was like, you know what? And I listened to the first hour or two. I was like, okay, I'll keep going. And it was definitely not what you think of out of transgender, on the titles, transgendered Navy SEAL. It's not something that would come to my mind after listening to all 6 hours of it. I was just like, huh. And it definitely gave you a different view on that whole world and everything that's involved with it. So it was definitely, I took a few things from it. So it was definitely a good listen. It wasn't a waste of my 6 hours. So
that's awesome. And probably, was it him talking?
Yeah, it was Sean Ryan and this Navy SEAL, and he's just going through everything that he did and went through, and like in stages. So, his early life, and then he went into the SEALs and what he did in the SEAL teams, which is, it's remarkable. If you have to listen to it, and you'd be like, wow, this guy is a whole nother level. Yeah. And then he gets into, it's not all about, which is what I really liked about it. He didn't even talk about the transgendered thing till maybe 2.5, 3 hours into it. So I was like, okay, this is definitely cool. And he definitely has a different view on that whole community and almost a negative view of it. So it was definitely an interesting podcast to listen to. But he does a lot of other different ones, but mainly all military based. A lot of politics and political figures and CIA guys, business owners. I think he did an artist or two. He did a boxer. So he's got about 50, 60 videos out. I've been following him since like number 1 with Mike Ritland. So it was definitely one that I've held on to for a few years now, and then it's like my go-to. I was like, oh, he's got a new one out. Cool. I'll put this on this weekend. I'm, tinkering in the garage. So
was Sean ex-military?
Yes, he was a Navy SEAL, and then he went contracting to, I believe, CIA and everything else. So I think he actually, he went CIA and then went to, I think, Blackwater for a few years too. So it's definitely, and then like when he had Eric Prince on, the CEO for Blackwater, that was definitely a really good, I think it was like 3-4 hour one. That was a really good one too.
I'll have to check that out. He probably has some crazy stories.
Yeah. And he gets into psychedelics, which is probably like 2 or 3 questions down on like, we can just get into that right now. Yeah. What are your thoughts on like the psychedelics, psilocybin, stuff like that?
As a young teenager,
So you've dabbled
in a lot of acid. Mm-hmm. I'd never really did like shrooms. A lot of people microdose.
Yeah, that's like a big thing right now.
Yeah. But I feel like the stuff that I was doing, the acid I was doing was like chemicals, research chemicals.
Something in the back of the trailer just made.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, I had a lot of great experiences, and I feel like that did help like open my mind to a lot of stuff.
So for you, it does open up. Like,
it's been a really long time since I've done any,
right? But
I feel like it's given me different perspective on a lot.
Well, that's cool.
Even from a young age, I've taken that with me to where I am.
So for him, like, and he's the one that really pushes it. And for a long time, I was just like, I really don't want to hear about this. Like, you know how I am with the drugs. It's pretty drug free. Mm-hmm. There's no real tolerance for it, but definitely listen to it more, but I'm not all about it just yet. But he uses it as like more of a medicine, like almost like a detox and like a hard reset, mm-hmm. It's like NBM3, right. And some other things. He goes on a lot, but in America, I don't think you can do it legally. So they all go to like these camps in Mexico that have doctors, and mm-hmm. they do it as official as they can.
Right.
But it also shows like he's showing like a lot of opiate and substance mm-hmm. Addictions are cured by this. So it's definitely like something like, maybe somewhere in America we should probably try it, maybe California or, one of these states that just do all kinds of crazy, wacky laws. Like, hey, open this up to maybe help these people with these addictions that are pretty crazy to kick. So,
and I think a lot of it, like a lot of the shrooms and stuff, it's natural.
Right.
So, I mean, like the microdosing thing is what I hear being the most beneficial.
Yeah, that's like the most.
Common.
I think right now is like the hot, cool new thing to do, in my opinion. Everything like shrooms. It's like everything on Facebook and YouTube. You see it. So
I think as long as you're like doing it appropriately, like in moderation, like for medicinal purposes, then it could definitely be beneficial. But I think it's easy for people to get carried away with it.
Right. Like for what he was doing, he said this is not something you do recreational. Like it's not fun.
Right.
He's crying. He's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. His body's just doing. It's not fun. And they do it for like a week. And they're with a shaman and this whole like big deal. So like they come out of it, and it's like
they're awoken.
It's just different. Like they don't drink. For this guy in particular, he's not drinking alcohol. He's not drinking, sugary drinks like he was. He's sleeping better. He's not as agitated and angry. So I don't think he was addicted to anything at the time, but like he hasn't had alcohol in a year now. So he's like always pushing it. And a lot of guys are getting onto it. So it's definitely something that maybe our government should probably look into.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those guys.
I actually quit drinking alcohol too.
Yeah.
A few months ago.
Cool.
Just trying to focus on like putting the good stuff in to feel the best.
Right. Was it because it was a problem, or you just wanted to do it?
No, I mean, personally, I think I have pretty good self-control. Like I've never had an addiction or a problem. So it was just like I got to the point where every time I would drink, even if it was just a drink or two, I just felt like crap the next morning.
Yeah, that's generally how that goes.
Like, why would I want to do that?
Yeah,
it doesn't benefit me in any way. Maybe I feel good for like a couple hours, but it's just not worth it.
I think it's what you just said, the moderation thing.
Yeah.
Being able to control that.
Yeah. As long as you don't fall into
a trap.
Yep. Which is easy to do.
It is.
So awesome.
So what do you got on the paper over there?
I want to talk about whatever you're willing to share about your military.
I didn't do anything crazy or fun or,
just tell them what I
was a mechanic in the Marine Corps. So I went in 2010. I was probably 6 or 7 days of 18 and I had signed the papers. It's a weird one for me to get into. I mean, we'll get into it, but like I was fought from like early on. My parents kind of fought me on it, and it was no. I was there at 17. They're like, no. So it was kind of just like I put it off and just waited it out. So played senior year ball, did pretty good as our team, and they were. I think they were expecting me to kind of do that route. And at the time, I had a girlfriend that was in college, right in PA. And I think they were, I don't know, expecting me to do that or wanting me to do that. I don't know why I was fought so hard on it.
You're their baby. They don't want you to get
hurt. I mean, I get it, I guess, now looking into it, but they fought me pretty good on that one. And, I'm stubborn and hard-headed, and it's just, I'm going to do what I want to do. And no one's really going to tell me anything else. And I did it. So it was like 18 came around, signed the papers, and now you're locked in. And I remember it was kind of an uphill battle there. So it was not taken well in my household. I was the first one. So by the time I had to graduate, that was like the last document I needed. So I'd already sworn in. I just needed my diploma, and I was already my birthday's in February. It was just, I needed to buy time. I was already had enough credits. Just don't get expelled and you're fine. Right. And I had been in trouble a few years ago or before that. So it was easy. Now I just had like a third parent, my recruiters, hey, you're going to be here every Sunday or Saturday. And it's like, okay, cool. So it's like, it's just like having a coach again. It didn't really bug me too much. By the time, I graduated, that was the last document. It was done, sealed, gave me my date, and it kind of landed right when everyone was going to college. So it was kind of nice. It was right there in the fall. Got my summer, pieced out for the for basic training, and then I came back right around Christmas time, just like everybody else. Had 10 days off, had some RA, and then I went to training in Geiger. after that was done, I was done about a month or so with that. And then I headed out to San Diego. So we go to schools training there. You know, I got my MOS right at the end of Geiger. And I was an AAV mechanic. So
A what?
AAV. So it's amphibious assault vehicle. Okay. It looks like a tank, but it floats on water. So it goes from ship to shore carrying people. So it's kind of a cool little vehicle. It's just very dated for being a 2011 is when I'd first seen this thing. I was like, that thing's kind of cool, you know? And then after learning about it, you're like, oh, this thing is a jalopy. Yeah. You know, this thing is if this does not kill me at sea, fuck.
Yeah.
We'll be doing great, you know? But I loved working on them. I thought they were cool. I just wish they had gone with the program over in California to get a new vehicle, a new hot, brand new vehicle. Updated. And they were there. I had actually seen them. I went to the testing compound out there in California for 3 months. We did a baseline test for our vehicles just to see where our data was on them. It was just kind of like they wanted to see run times and down times and the parts we were using and how long it took to get up. So pretty much essentially how many maintenance hours per operations hours were they getting out of this vehicle. And I was kind of part of that. But while I was there, I actually got to see that new vehicle, and it was sweet. You know, it woke up with Windows XP. You know, you got in the cockpit, and and you just see this screen. It's just like it was a Windows XP. So it was pretty trick. But that was I was under the Obama administration, so a lot of cuts. They cut the funding on it, and General Dynamics, I think, just killed it. And I think they either shot them or blew them up. So just mad money down the drain. It was a really sweet vehicle. And the Marine Corps didn't get it. So they're still using those old vehicles. Clunkers. So the clunkers. Yes. Very cool clunkers, but the clunkers. So. But yeah, I was a mechanic there. I did pretty good there. I got in a little bit of trouble, but still came out with honorable discharge. Met a lot of cool people. Still stay in touch with. I went down to LS Fest and I actually got to link up with two of my
that's cool.
my Marine friends. So that was actually probably winning the award was really cool. But like I hadn't seen them in so long, so I was like really happy to see Phil and just seeing where everyone was at,
They're probably like your brothers.
Yeah. Everyone says that. It's a term that's, just thrown around very, very loosely in my opinion, but it's not like you're always knowing what's going on in their life every single minute,
Mm-hmm.
But when you do link up, it's easy, it's quick. And then it's like, you just have a blast, Pappy, he came there and he's just like, he's in awe with the car. And it's like, just seeing where everybody's at and what they're doing with their lives after the Marine Corps was kind of cool. So a couple guys I want to go see. Actually probably going to go to Virginia here in a few weeks, and I might see what one of my guys is doing if he's still living down there. See if I can kind of get a few hours, fucking maybe have a beer or something, catch up. Haven't seen Piazza in a while. So yeah, it's just one of those things. I can go anywhere in the country and there's somebody that I served with, and they'll probably drop whatever they're doing for like a day or so, and be like, hey, I got to do this. And no one really bugs or bats an eye at it, in my opinion. So, but yeah, it was a good thing. It gave me a lot of my drive, a lot of my discipline. I feel I lost a lot of it too. So I'm trying to get that back now, but it definitely was the base for why I do what I do and why I'm a decently successful at what I have and have gotten at. So
give yourself credit.
Yeah, everyone's like, but honestly,
affirmations.
The affirmations. Here we go with the affirmations.
I'm just saying though, like I see like how you could definitely be who you are, like from the military structure.
Yeah, I don't push it a whole lot. I'm not the guy that's wearing, USMC shit all over the place and got the stickers on my truck. And
right, just the way you live.
Driving it down people's road, trying to shy. And I like to shy away from it as much as I can. Mm-hmm. So that's just me, though. I just don't want it to be the only thing. I want to be good at a few other things and maybe be known for that. You know, anymore it's the damn fucking Subaru. But
like what though? What do you want?
I don't know. I just don't like to be labeled as just that one thing. You know, I want to be decent at a lot of things. You know, jack of all trades kind of deal. So I like to learn. I've actually in the last year or two been more open to learning new and different things than I was. I was so singular in what I was doing for so long that now like just meeting people and having relationships with people, you know, getting to travel and see things and do things and learning other ways of doing shit. So I kind of want to expand on that here in my 30s. So obviously I'm good at this and can do this. I'm fine at that, but I can almost let it down and let it go and try to explore new things. So
good. That'll be exciting. What was I going to say on... We just cracked.
Yeah.
We heard that one. Goals. That's what it was.
Goals.
Say in like 5 years.
Oh, you thief. You thief.
Give me three goals for a 5 year.
3 goals. And what are we talking goals in what? Financial, life, relationship, anything? Oof.
I know that you love kids. I know you do.
I get that a lot from people.
You
and I don't
do.
know why. I have a tolerance. I have a lot higher tolerance for children nowadays. I have a godson now, so that is like, I always joke, it's like a rent-a-kid. It's kind of cool. I can play with them, shake them up, feed them, spoil them, and then
give them back.
I can go home and it's gonna be quiet. You know, it's their parents gonna take care of them, do all the responsible stuff. You know.
Right.
I dabbled with this. I don't know. Kids is a hard one for me. I don't know. I don't know if I can really I'm selfish. I'll admit, like looking at myself, I'm very selfish. I like my time. I like doing, you know, I had a friend the other day. He's just like, you're never home. I'm trying to get my stuff or his, you know, he needs, you know, say he needs a part or tool for me. He's like, you're never home. I'm like, yeah, man, doing stuff.
Right.
I like that freedom. I like that. I do not have to be at a place other than my job, and I can do whatever I want. You know, I like that freedom. I also don't have any pets, and I did do this just recently. So I had my 31st, and I was just like, I'm gonna get a dog. And I had been looking probably before my birthday on maybe trying this canine deal thing out, and luck has it, there was a conversation at work and it just so happened that he had a dog and he's like, hey, this is kind of a temperamental dog, this, that, the other. And I was like, hey man, I have a home that no one really comes into. I don't have a lot of people in my house. It's just me. I don't have any other pets. Like, let me try it. Oh boy, was that a disaster. Yeah.
No.
And no fault to the dog, you know. The dog it had its own issues, but it's almost like just having a wiring issue in a car. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody was to literally go through the car and just work out the bugs, it's probably going to be just fine. But yeah, I know that dog, and me and him, that dog, we're going around. He cracked me in the hand, and I was like, nope, you're going back. I think we made it 3 days. I was like, nope,
yeah,
and that's really what set me off of like, wow, I can't even.
It's a big.
Can't even do a dog, you know.
But I mean, certain dogs are harder than others.
Yes, I keep hearing that, but I also like, I let that dog go back. I was just like, you know, this isn't for me because of like my job and what I'm doing, you know, and looking at it as I leave my house 5-something in the morning. I'm there at 6:00 to whenever. It's supposed to be around 2:30. I can be there 4:35. You know, yesterday I was there in a hole till like 6:45. You know, and I can be there on the weekends too. So, and a lot of that's on me. It's not necessarily the company demanding it out of me, but they kind of know me and know I just kind of do that. So that's just how I am and what I do. That's not right in my head to have a dog in a kennel that whole time, you know. And then what, you let him out and then he goes right back in there when you go to sleep, because dogs on beds and couches just winds me up. So yeah, the animals is not my thing. So like looking at that, I always have that in the back of my head when it comes to kids, but honestly, I've never been challenged with that yet. You know, like, hey, you're having a kid. Like,
Step
what?
up. Yeah.
Right. I think I would. I think I would bite down real hard. You know, I do everything in full tilt. You know, if it's the cars or the job or whatever it is, I'm full tilt and like laser focus sometimes. And that's all I want to do. So I think I would do okay. That I got a 9 months, head start. Like, okay, I just scorched earth. Like I'm selling, like, what am I keeping? What am I selling? I'm just going to coop all this, set up the room, do all that stuff. But that's not all like what kids are about. And I've heard a lot from a lot of different people like, oh, no, you'll be fine. But that's a big fear for me. Like kids, and letting them down, this last, relationship. It's just that one, I don't want to let people down, and a little child that they're going to hold on to that. So it's like, let's just pretend like that's not a thing in my life right now. And just la, la, la.
Yeah.
I'll play with the kids, have fun with the kids, and then we're done.
Right.
So for me, kids is, it's not a hard no, but it's definitely not a top priority on my things to do, I guess.
Fair enough. Well, we're like out of time, but if you want to,
I told you we're going to turn up and we're going to do an easy hour. If
you want to spit out 2 goals, just quick.
2 goals. I want to build a car from scratch, whether it be a kit car or like my rat rod.
Okay.
Like the Subaru was just modded and then modded and then modded. I want to do one from the ground up. And then, I don't know. I think I want a Porsche eventually in my life. I don't want like a 944, 928.
Yeah.
I like those. They're cool and whatnot, but like I want like a nice Porsche one day. So
you'll get it. No problem.
Right. So that's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
We had that time fly by.
I knew it wasn't going to be hard.
And once we get to our 2000s episode, we'll be bringing you back.
We don't wait that long.
I know. I'm just kidding. But we'll definitely bring him back on, talk more. Thanks so much for tuning in. And we will see you guys next week.
Cool.